I'm going to go over quick how to do the cut contour lines for a large format printer. Um, the first thing you got to do is find your swatch palette, and that is under Window. Got to go down to the S's and find that, bring it up. You'll also need your Pathfinder for this too, so if you want to bring that up, you can. And under your swatches here, you want to click on the new swatch icon. If you cannot click on that, it's because you don't have a color selected on your foreground color or your fill. So let's make sure you got a color there. You can click on the new one. And this is kind of like a bank password or a password for Google or something, where it has to be typed in the correct way, all capitals and spaces and stuff, or it's not going to work. So this is what it should look like. It should be cut contour, spot color, color mode CMYK, M should be 100, everything else should be 0. And when you make that, it should appear either right there or at the end of your swatches. So that's what we're going to need. What that does is the printer, when it recognizes that color, it does not print that color, it tells it to cut. So we're going to use that to kind of put lines around our stickers here. There are 4 ways of doing this. The easiest ways are for stickers like this, where they're already a shape, or you just want to put a circle around something. So you can pick any shape that you want here. In this case, I'm going to do an ellipse. I'm just going to make that go around the Packard G there. Select my cut contour color, flip it so it's a stroke, and resize that a little bit so it kind of conforms to the shape of the Packard G there. And that's a really easy way to do that. Another super easy way to do this is to just take a selection tool, whether it be a pen tool or a pencil tool, and you can just kind of freehand draw where you would want that to cut out. So maybe if the other ways aren't working for you, or it's just a little too difficult, you could go around and kind of freehand draw where you want that to go. Now for the more complicated ways of doing this, I'll start with Aaron Rodgers here. For when you're bringing in these stickers, you don't necessarily have to image trace. If you're bringing in a real picture or a raster image like this, I would recommend not image tracing it right away. Leave the original one there, because if you image trace it, it's not going to look like a real picture on the sticker. And we want it to. If you have a vector image already, or like a logo off of the internet, I would image trace this one to start. So starting over with Rodgers here, I'm going to start out by dragging a copy. And to do that, I'm just going to click on it and hold down the Alt key and drag off of it so I have a copy of it. And I'm going to image trace this one. I don't need to do like a drop-down one. I can just do a normal image trace. And before I hit expand, I'm going to use the panel here and try to get as much black as possible on this one. I could probably get it all black, but I'm gonna leave a little bit of white in, because there might be a situation where you can't do that. Then you're gonna hit expand, ungroup it, and get rid of all of the white around the outside. And then you're gonna highlight it and assign that cut contour color and flip it. Now there's 2 things to do from here. If you have a really simple one like this, where there's only a couple lines on the inside that you can erase, you can just take your white arrow tool and click on that and hit delete, normally twice, and it goes away. Or you can just highlight over it with the white arrow tool and get rid of it like that. If it's a little more complicated, let's say there's a ton of stuff in there, you can just highlight over it and go to your Pathfinder. And on this first shape mode here, the top left one, you can just hold down Alt and click on that one, and then go to expand, and it usually gets rid of most of it in there. There may be 1 or 2 left in there. I don't know why that one didn't go away. You can drag that one back over. Now, the more advanced way to add onto this is to offset your path and just do a little bit of a white border on there. It gives a little bit more tolerances to the sticker. It'll cut a little better. And to do that, you go to Object, Path, Offset Path, and you can type in what you want this to be. Also select if you want it to be mitered or round or beveled. And then you'll have two of them. So again, you can use your white arrow and delete the inside one, or just highlight over them and go to your Pathfinder and do that same thing. And drag it back over. And then you have sticker there. If you want to get really crazy, if you highlight over both of them, you can go to Align, and you can click on the two middle ones, and it will align your images. Or no, never mind. I thought it would. Normally that would center your sticker with your image there. Not sure why it didn't do that there. All right, for the monster one, I'm going to image trace this one to start because it is a vector image, or it was originally designed that way. And then after it image traces here, I might actually just pause it until it gets done. It might take a minute here. And ungroup it. Get rid of the white outline, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did for Rogers there. I'm just going to drag a copy of that and use the Pathfinder to make it into a outline. So I have it ungrouped, and I'm going to just drag it over, and I'm going to assign my cut contour lines, flip it. See, I got all these cut lines in here. If you tried to print that, it would destroy your sticker. So I'm going to highlight over it, find that Pathfinder, hold Alt and click, and go to expand. And you see how I still have a couple of ones I'm going to have to erase in there. If you kept releasing the compound path and doing that, it may fix itself. But I'm going to offset it anyways, so I'm not worried about erasing that right now. So I can go to Object, Path, Offset Path, and pick that again. Let's do a little bit smaller one this time. And we'll do a miter. And then I will use the Pathfinder and combine that again. Just hold Alt and click on that and go to Expand. And then drag that back over into place. If you're finding that that is too far that way, that is too far that way, and you can't find a middle ground by dragging it, you can go up to View, and you probably have these Snap to whatever's check, Snap to Grid, Snap to Pixel. If you undo that, you get a little bit more freedom in how you drag it around. You should be able to get it a little more centered there. So there you have it. You see 3 stickers that are now ready to go. One thing I was going to mention, if you have a picture like this and you were trying to extract it and make it into just like a Rogers cutout, when you image trace it, it's probably not going to work out that well. You're going to have too much black. So what I would recommend doing for this is either going on Photoshop and cutting it out first, or if you can somehow get it you probably won't be able to. If you can somehow get it where you can see the difference between the background, you could expand it and ungroup it and take like an eraser tool and try to erase that stuff that way. But again, it's gonna be easier just to cut it out on Photoshop first and then save it as a JPEG or PNG and bring it into Illustrator then and work on it so it looks more like that.